the truck driver who became an unexpected hero. The sun had barely begun to rise over Interstate 80 when Jack Turner started another ordinary workday. At 48 years old, Jack had spent more than 2 decades behind the wheel of his 18-wheeler, hauling freight from coast to coast across America. His routine rarely changed. Wake up before dawn, check the tires, inspect the brakes, review the delivery schedule, grab a cup of black coffee, hit the road. To most people, Jack was just another truck driver passing by in a sea of traffic. People rarely noticed the man inside the cab. They simply wanted to get around the massive truck slowing them down. Jack didn't mind. He preferred quiet. His wife Emily had passed away 5 years earlier after a long battle with cancer. Since then, trucking had become more than a job. It had become an escape. Long highways gave him time to think, remember, and slowly heal. His only family was his 17-year-old daughter, Lily, who lived with her grandmother while finishing high school in Ohio. Jack promised himself that once Lily graduated, he'd retire from long-haul trucking and spend more time with her. But life had other plans. One chilly October morning, Jack was hauling medical supplies from Denver to Chicago. The cargo was important and time-sensitive, but he still refused to speed. "Better late than never," he often said. Around 8:15 a.m., he noticed something unusual several hundred yards ahead. Traffic had suddenly stopped. Cars were scattered across both lanes. Smoke rose into the cold air. Jack immediately eased onto the brakes. A terrible accident had just occurred. A passenger bus carrying nearly 30 people had collided with 3 vehicles after a tire blowout. The front of the bus was crushed. People screamed. Glass covered the highway. Several drivers simply stayed inside their cars, frozen with fear. Jack didn't hesitate. He parked his truck across one lane to protect the accident scene from oncoming traffic, switched on every emergency light, grabbed his fire extinguisher and first aid kit, and sprinted toward the wreckage. Years of safety training suddenly mattered. Inside the bus, panic ruled. Children cried. Adults struggled to free themselves from twisted seats. The driver was unconscious. A small fire had started near the engine compartment. Jack climbed through a shattered side window. "Everyone stay calm," he shouted. "My name's Jack. We're getting out one at a time." His calm voice immediately changed the atmosphere. Fear slowly became hope. Jack first helped an elderly woman whose leg had become trapped beneath a bent metal frame. Using a small pry bar he kept inside his truck, he managed to lift the damaged section just enough for another passenger to pull her free. Next came a young mother holding a frightened 6-year-old boy. "The window is too high," she cried. Jack smiled. "I've got you." He carefully lifted the little boy through the broken window before helping his mother climb out safely. Within minutes, smoke became thicker. Someone yelled, "The bus is going to catch fire!" People outside stepped back. Jack went back inside, again and again and again. Each trip meant less oxygen, more smoke, greater danger. He didn't count. He simply kept helping. Among the remaining passengers was a teenage girl pinned beneath 2 collapsed seats. She struggled to breathe. Jack tried pulling the seats away, but they wouldn't move. He searched quickly. Nearby lay a heavy steel emergency tool. Using every ounce of strength he had built over 25 years loading freight, Jack forced the seats apart just enough. The girl whispered, "Don't leave me. I'm not going anywhere." Moments later, she was free. As Jack carried her outside, applause erupted from the growing crowd. Emergency crews had finally arrived. Firefighters immediately rushed toward the burning bus. One firefighter looked at Jack in disbelief. "How many people did you get out?" Jack shrugged. "I don't know." Later they counted. 23 passengers, 23 lives. The fire department declared that if the rescue had begun even 3 minutes later, many passengers trapped inside would not have survived. News helicopters soon arrived. Television cameras focused on Jack. Reporters surrounded him. "Are you the hero who saved everyone?" Jack looked uncomfortable. "I'm just a truck driver." "But you went back into a burning bus multiple times. There were people inside. Didn't you think about your own life?" Jack paused. "I did." Then he quietly added, I just figured their families wanted them home as much as my daughter wants me home. Those words spread across every news station in America. Jack returned to work the very next day. He assumed the attention would disappear. Instead, it grew. Videos captured by drivers went viral online. Millions watched. Comments flooded C.